Yo, what is up guys? Ethan here back with another video, and before my next mock draft, which will be coming out right before the draft, I do think I'm going to do this video and the next video, which is the team's biggest needs, just to make yourself aware. But today we're doing my draft big board for 2020, spoiler alert, all three players on the screen, or on the thumbnail, yes, they are in the video. I did do a big board before, but YouTube took it down. I tried to appeal it, but that one didn't work. I appealed the wide receiver one, but that worked. I don't know why. But, the last big board I did was 75 players, and this time I decided to go with 100. And between that 75, actually more like 70, between that 70 to 100 range, there is tons of skill players. If you don't know what a skill player is, there's wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs. Like I said, and everyone probably knows, this could be one of the greatest wide receiver class, if not the best of all time. And this tight end class, man, it's terrible. I do have a total of one. I have one tight end. I did have two, but I took it out for a defensive lineman, which we will get to later. But let's get straight into my big board. Alright, so here's my 1 through 10. Number 1 is Chase Young. Number 2 is Joe Burrow. Number 3 is Jeff Okudah. Number 4 is Isaiah Simmons. Number 5 is Derek Brown. Number 6 is CeeDee Lamb. Number 7 is Jerry Jeudy. Number 8 is Tua Tagovailoa. Number 9 is Andrew Thomas. And number 10 is Tristan Wirfs. I think the first two, without a doubt, guaranteed. Chase Young, best talent-wise. Joe Burrow, second in my opinion, but he's probably most likely going to go number 1 to the Bengals. We'll find out exactly from a week from now. By the way, if a name's highlighted in red, that is the player on the screen. Jeff Okudah at number 3. I saw this dude from NBC Sports, and he released his top 5 players for the secondaries, which is cornerback and safety. Jeff Okudah could become a top 5 cornerback in the league, and he has C.J. Henderson number 1. I think it was A.J. Terrell 2. Then it was Okudah, and then the rest was terrible. He is an idiot and should get fired for that. A.J. Terrell and C.J. Henderson I'm not high on, especially C.J. Henderson. If I'm a Falcons fan, I would rather have Christian Fulton over him, especially. But, Isaiah Simmons at number 4, very versatile. Some people say he's a little overrated. I can understand that. But I see people having Simmons at 3 and 2. I don't see him better than Okudah and Burrow, but he's definitely top 5. Number 5, Derek Brown was actually more complicated than I thought. I do think Derek Brown's not going to have a high ceiling. Like, I don't think he's going to be a top 5 defensive line in the whole NFL. But he's the best defensive lineman on the board, going into the draft. He could potentially be one of the best run stoppers in the NFL. He's not the fastest. He's not the most athletic, but he's strong, powerful, stops runs, and eventually he may even be able to sack your QB. Number 6 and 7. It's just a toss-up between CeeDee Lamb and CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy. CeeDee Lamb, I think, like I said I forget which mock draft, it depends on what the team needs. If you need a player that has fantastic ball skills, you go with CeeDee Lamb. If you need a dude with fantastic deep speed and route running, you go Jerry Jeudy. I personally think CeeDee Lamb is a tad better, but if Jerry Jeudy is better than Lamb, I will not get offended. Number 8 is Tua Tagovailoa. Man, if I was a GM, I would not draft him until the max I would personally draft him would be at pick 12 by the Raiders. He has gotten injured. Well, I can't speak English today. he got injured every year he played, especially with this new hip injury. Man, you see this tape, but that's not with contact. That's just throwing. And if you go to the Chargers or the Dolphins have one of the worst offensive lines of all time, and the Chargers have one of the worst in the NFL currently. And you expect him to protect? Man, I don't agree with it. I do think Tua is a top 10 player, but people saying he's number 3, 4, 5, definitely can't see it. Not at all. Number 9 is Andrew Thomas, and I know on some people's boards he's definitely rising on some people's boards, even though at the combine he was like worse out of the top 4, which I never understood. Now it looks like he's becoming the best tackle or the top tackle on people's boards, which I 100% agree with. So yeah, my bad, my phone just went off. But number 10, Tristan Wirfs. As you will see, I'm not high on Jedrick Wills at all. If you want to be a tackle, you need to play left and right tackle, which we'll get to later. Wills cannot do that. Wirfs, he can play either left tackle, right tackle, or a guard. I really haven't seen him play center. I don't think he would be good at center. But besides center, he can play anywhere on the offensive line. He's versatile, athletic, and that's why I think he's here at number 10. And then pick 11, I have Javon Kinlaw. And even though, like I said with Derek Brown, he's the best defensive tackle on the board, I personally think Javon Kinlaw, by year 2, he will be better than Derek Brown. And that's why I really hope my Atlanta Falcons draft this dude. Even though we need an edge rusher and corner, we just got Fowler. I don't think edge rusher is going to be a main need until like the 3rd round. Corner, we can definitely pick up a steal, like if Trevon Diggs is there, Bryce Hall, maybe even Jalen Johnson. Definitely like him. But 1st round, I really want Javon Kinlaw. 12, Mekhi Becton. Huge and athletic. Maybe he's a little too overweight for his size. And he has been a primary left tackle. Just in case a team may need a guard, I'm not sure if you can go into that guard spot, but definitely a good tackle. 13, Henry Ruggs. I do think I'm not high on him as much people are. The top corners in the SEC were always on Judy. So Ruggs got a little bit more, but he didn't get as much targets to Judy because Judy's just that good. Ruggs is blazing fast, but yeah, I saw people saying he's like more of like a Tavon Austin. He wouldn't trans out in the NFL. I won't say he's going to be that bad, but I do think I think a good comparison to him would be like a Marquise Brown, really fast, catches the ball. I'm just not as high as Ruggs as most people. 14, this may be a little high for some people, but yes, I do have Xavier McKinney over Jedrick Wills. McKinney. I was watching something on the NFL draft or whatever, but he says, don't look at my combine, just look at my film, and yeah, I looked at his film, fantastic. I definitely think he's better than CJ Henderson by far, but I don't think even like in this draft class, I think Xavier McKinney's definitely slept on, but the safeties are really not like a huge priority to some teams this year. The highest I can see him going, unless the Raiders reach at 12, I think the highest I can see him is going to 17 to Dallas, but that's not likely. But definitely a first round pick. 15 is Jedrick Wills. Like I said, he's only plays right tackle, and if you want to be a successful tackle, if you have decent depth at right tackle and your left tackle's out, that star right tackle needs to go to the left tackle and play good. Wills, I'm not sure. Like, I'm just not high on him. He reminds me a little bit. I'm not sure if he's a senior. I could be wrong, but last year with Quinnen Williams, even though he was only a rookie last year, he was decent junior, but he had a phenomenal senior year. Went up to get picked at number 3, and he really didn't do good this year, and he got arrested for marijuana at an airport, so that's not looking good for the Jets. But I'm not gonna say Wills is gonna make mistakes and all that, but the rise of Wills just reminds me a little bit of Williams. I could be wrong about Wills, but he's my 4th best tackle. Number 6 is Christian Fulton, and like I said, I do think he's better than C.J. Henderson. Fulton, he's really big for a corner, which is good. He's not the fastest. He didn't get burned that often, but he's not like really quick. So if he's matched up to Tyreek Hill, man, Hill just went past him. But definitely better than C.J. Henderson in my opinion. Number 17 is Justin Herbert. I'm an Oregon fan. I'm not sure if he's going to play out into the NFL. I see people comparing him to like Mitch Trubisky. Oh no. Trubisky? Herbert's going to be way better than him. He's a bum. Herbert, I don't think he's going to be a superstar quarterback. I really don't think so. But he's definitely going to be a quality starter for years. And I do think he's number 17. Number 18, C.J. Henderson. If you just need a cornerback for man coverage and man coverage only, he's your pick without a doubt. Fantastic at that. But he really doesn't do good at zone. He really doesn't do good versus the press and all that. I'm just not high on Henderson at all. Number 19 is DeAndre Swift. We know about the running backs. Really talented, but we don't know when they're going to get drafted. Even last year with Josh Jacobs, we didn't know if he was going in the first round. The highest I can see Swift going is going 14 at the Bucks, which is a reach. But besides that, 18 to the Dolphins, which is still a reach. The quality spot for him, I would say, is probably at 26 to the Dolphins again. But I think there's really a chance where there's going to be no running back selected in the first round. And because running backs are just not becoming important in the NFL that much anymore. And 20 is Justin Jefferson. I know people have said he can't be like a vertical threat. You don't need to be a vertical threat to be a good receiver in the NFL. You really don't. And that's why I have Jefferson at 20. I picked 21. I have Kayvon Thibodeaux, and man, I am not high on this kid at all. I just don't know why. I think he's going to be a bust. Coming from a Falcons fan, he may just remind me a lot of Vic Beasley, and Vic Beasley really didn't plan out to be good. He wasn't good besides that 1 year. Maybe I'm just not high on him because of that. Really similar, but I'm just not high on him. Number 22 is Kenneth Murray, and I think he is the second best linebacker in this draft. Maybe even first if you consider Simmons a safety. For Murray, like I said with the Saints pick in the last video, even though I think Patrick Queen's more of a linebacker with coverage and all that, Murray can play edge maybe in some schemes. He can play linebacker and edge, which I think that is going to be, besides a middle linebacker, that's definitely what the NFL is looking at for linebackers now. Number 23, Jordan Love. Like I said, last year he really didn't perform as good, but he had a new coach. I think he had 8 new starters. So that Utah State offense really wasn't good, and he still led Utah State to a bowl game. That's how good this dude is. 2018 he was phenomenal, but probably one of the best teams Utah State's ever had. So that's why he's this high. Number 24 is Patrick Queen. Like I said with Murray, Queen's a better coverage guy, and I do think that is really good for a linebacker. That's why he's at 24. 25 and Josh Jones. Really good tackle. I did watch a little bit of tape. Very, very underrated. Maybe because he went to a small school in Houston. But really good tackle for as long as he played for. I personally think he's a first round tackle. Some people may not say so, but I like him. Number 26, Grant Delpit. If he was a safety like last year in the NFL, definitely lower. But what he did in 2018, one of the best players in all of college football, he can be higher. Those two clash out each other, and I thought 26 would just be a good spot for him. Also, tackling is a concern with him. Number 27 is Jeff Gladney, also a very underrated player. I think the best fit for Gladney easily would be the Vikings, the Chiefs. Yeah, those are probably the best fits for Gladney. 28 Denzel Mims, very raw, but he needs to be in a system where you have a QB that's not like 1 or 2 years, and he need like a Packers situation, because I don't see him as a number 1 receiver at all. He needs to be a number 2 corner, not corner, wide receiver. Number 29 is AJ Epineza, edge rusher. Not the best athlete in the world. He's very slow, but he's super strong as an edge rusher. He will just be pushing your tackles to the side, but compared to how edge rushers are looking now, he's definitely falling on people's boards because he's not as athletic as most. And number 30, the first interior offensive lineman, in Ncaa Ruiz. I just looked at the pros and cons on him. I really haven't watched tape on him, but based off what I heard, 30 is a good spot for him. At 31, I have Zach Bond, edge rusher from Wisconsin. Wisconsin was one of the best defenses in all of college football last year, and arguably he was the best player. So really good. I know with that whole situation about the delayed stuff and all that, I really don't think that's going to impact teams on how they see him. But I think here's a good spot for him. Number 32 is T. Higgins. Big body, but he's not a really good athlete. And that's how receivers are going to be looking. Even though T. Higgins may not be the best, T. Higgins built his body for a receiver. He's definitely going to spend he would be in the NFL longer than Henry Ruggs. But he's just going to be I think he's just going to be a journeyman if he can't find a team. But really big body. All the 50-50 balls I've seen, he caught a good 85% of them. If you are a 50-50 on him, he's most likely going to get it. Number 33 is Jonathan Taylor. Has fumbling issues, but really way faster than most people thought. Very underrated receiver. He's not the best receiving back, not at all, but his receiving skills I think go a little bit under the radar on him. But he's definitely a really good elusive back, and he's not the most powerful. Number 34 is Anton Winfield, Jr., by the way. I don't think he's going to be ever good as his father was, but man, this dude is going to be a really good safety. I was debating if he would be better than Grant Delpit. I think Delpit is better, as you saw, but really underrated receiver. And he had a really good year last year in Minnesota. Number 35, I have Yetur Gross-Matos, edge rusher from Penn State. I really don't know that much about him. Like Ncaa Ruiz, this is where I see people ranking him. He was, I think, a Big Ten All-First team for back-to-back years, which is really good. Number 36 is Ross Blacklock, another TCU player that goes under the radar. Really good defensive lineman, and the third on my board. Number 37 and 38, toss-up. And after Ross Blacklock, there's a lot of, you're going to see back-to-back positions a lot on, toss-ups, in which I can't really choose who's better. Here, A.J. Terrell and Jalen Johnson. I think going out, A.J. Terrell's a little bit better, just a tad, and he also has way more experience going from Clemson, but Jalen Johnson, man, I can definitely see him being better than C.J. Henderson. Right now, if I'm not mistaken, this is the 5th corner, but I can definitely see him a top 3 corner in this class. Number 39 is Brandon Ayuk. He played at community college, and he rose to Arizona State, and he just had a fantastic year last year. Papers just fell in my room. My bad if you heard that. I think Brandon Ayuk is just going to be used as a deep threat. I don't think he's going to be used in like a slot or whatever. But he definitely a good fit with the Eagles as they need a deep threat bad. And number 40 is Trevon Diggs. Of course, cornerback from Alabama and brother of Stephon Diggs. Just gets burnt way too often. Like way too often. His skill set is probably better than AJ Terrell and Jalen Johnson. But he's not the best athlete. He gets burned a lot. That's why he's at 40 for me. At number 41, I have Matt Pert. And like I said in my mock draft, a very, very, very underrated tackle in this class. He's not the best with the footwork, but he's very powerful and a really good athlete. Two reasons why he's this low. Like I said, with footwork, and also he's from a very small school in Ncaa. Terrible football program. But they got a diamond in the rough right here with Matt Pert. Number 22 is Jalen Reagor, and I see people have him way higher. I'm just not high on him at all. I compare him to like Nelson Aguilar. A deep threat. He's way faster than Aguilar. He'll be even better than Aguilar, but he can drop sometimes. I know he had injuries last year, but when he was on the field, he just didn't look as good as the previous year in 2018. I do think he's going to be way better than Nelson, but I don't think he's that good on how people are praising him. Number 43 is Marlon Davidson. Really good player last year, but like what I said with Quinnen Williams last year, earlier, he's gonna have to junior. He just had a really big shock up this year. I'm really high on Marlon Davidson, but the potential is there. But like I said with Quinnen Williams, if you have one good year, it really doesn't mean that you're one good player. Well, you are a good player, but I'm not sure if he would translate in the NFL really good, but I really like him. Number 44, Bryce Hall. I was on the bandwagon. I really liked Virginia and Bryce Hall. I really did. Maybe this may be a little too high on some people's boards, but I'll be 100% honest. If he did not get injured to start this year and had to miss this year, Bryce Hall would have been in the conversations up there with C.J. Henderson, Christian Fulton. I definitely believe that. His injury dropped him off, and if the Falcons, my team, can pick him up in the second round, I will be happy. Very underrated cornerback in this year's draft. Easily handed to Bryce Hall. Number 45 is Lloyd Cushenberry III. Probably one of the best names in this draft. In second interior lineman off the board from LSU. He was probably the best offensive lineman for LSU last year. I could be wrong on that. But he was one of the players to protect the Burrow the most. And even though he's ranked at 45, I can definitely see him going earlier than 45 as a team may need an interior offensive line. But really good player. Number 46 is Jeremy Chin, linebacker / safety from Southern Illinois. The first FCS or FB, I always get mixed up between the two, but really good player here. My bad. But he is basically, in my opinion, a poor man's Isaiah Simmons. Even though I think Chin is going to play more safety and Simmons is going to play more of a linebacker, Chin can definitely play that linebacking spot, and he's definitely a player like for the Falcons. I'm just going to say the Falcons for my example because they're my team, but he's definitely a Dan Quinn type of player. I can definitely see like Seattle reaching for him because Seattle always reaches, aka last year with LJ Collier, but really good player right here in Jeremy Chin. Number 47 is Austin Jackson. I think it's either some people are really high on him, some people think he's going to be a bust. I'm just right there in the middle. I do think he can definitely potentially go in the first round, but he's not a first round talent in my opinion. Tackle from USC. I forget his story, but he was dealing with he had to donate his blood to his sister, which was really cool. And he was like always low stamina because of that. Now he's good, but he just played every single game for USC, and I think he's gonna have a high motor, and he's gonna be easily a tackle for a future for one team. And this was also another case on I wasn't sure who's better. Another guy for TCU is Lucas Niang. 3 TCU players who are definitely steals in this draft. Great tackle. 6'7", big bodied. Like how I said, Jeremy Shins is a poor man's Isaiah Simmons. Lucas Niang, he's not as big as Mekhi Becton, but he's definitely a poor man's Mekhi Becton. But I really like Lucas Niang. Number 49 is Curtis Weaver, edge rusher from Boise State. Another guy. He's not the most athletic like AJ Epinenza, but unless like AJ Epinenza is more of a run stopper, Weaver focuses and tackles the QB, gets those sacks, and if I'm not mistaken, he was the second in sacks last year behind my number 1 guy in Chase Young. Curtis Weaver, a really good player. And number 50 is Kyle Duggar, pure safety, fantastic athlete, and he's going to play out really well in the NFL. And right here we have 3 straight receivers, which I couldn't choose from. Number 1 is Van Jefferson, number 2 is Chase Claypool, and 53 is Michael Pittman Jr. I do think Van Jefferson's better than these guys. I can definitely go out on a limb and say, hey, I think Van Jefferson's gonna be better than Jalen Reagor. In my opinion, yeah. He matched up against the top SEC corners as he was the number 1 receiver of Florida, and he just burned right past them. I'm not saying he's fast, but he just got open. Fantastic route runner. But two main things that I think teams are going to look at. He's a little bit older for a rookie. He's 23, and he has some injury concerns. Reminds me of a little bit of a Keenan Allen, a shorter version of Keenan Allen in this case. But Van Jefferson, man, he's going to be a hell of a player for a team. 52 Chase Claypool. Number 1 receiver for Notre Dame last year. Fantastic combine. I think he gets a little overpraised, but I do think in this section he's a little bit better than Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman, not the best athlete, but he's super tall, 6'4", great catch in traffic, and he's very consistent. Besides his freshman year, because most freshmen really don't do that much. At USC, he was consistent and got better. He was easily the number 1 option for USC last year, and he is going to be a steal for a team. Number 54 is J.K. Dobbins, and yes, he can be higher on this list, but I'm just not high on him as some people are. And I was thinking about before Gurley signed with Atlanta, he could definitely be a possible player. Now that Gurley's here, I don't think it's a real possibility, but Dobbins can definitely be a great backup running back in the league. Number 55 is Neville Gallimore, and I'm not high on him as that much anymore, at least. I was, but looking at more tape, I really wasn't. People say he's the 3rd best defensive lineman. I say no. I think Ross Blacklock's better. I think, I forget the other dude already. Marlon Davidson. And as you see a little bit, Justin Madubuike, he's definitely risen on my board, but he may even be better than Gallimore at this point. But right now, I think Gallimore's a tad better than Madubuike. Number 56 is Joshua Uche, one of the best edge rushers in this class. Really good at Michigan last year. He had a fantastic Senior Bowl, which is probably the main reason why he's this high. I can definitely see him early 2nd round pick. But in my latest mock draft, as you saw, he went to Seattle, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just doing from the top of my head. But very underrated edge rusher. 57 is Isaiah Wilson, offensive lineman from Georgia. He doesn't get as much love as I think he should. Main reasons because Andrew Thomas was on the other side, and as a freshman, everyone knew he was going to be a top 15 pick in his draft. Isaiah Wilson, very underrated offensive lineman, tackle. Number 50 is Terrell Lewis, fantastic edge rusher from Alabama. Injury concerns are a big reason though. Number 59 is Raekwon Davis. Better junior year than senior year. I personally think he should have went into the NFL draft last year. He would have got drafted earlier. I personally think a great fit for him would be like the Texans. And number 60 is Justin Matabuke. I'm definitely starting to like him a little bit more now, but for right now, he's 60. So for the rest of these, I'm going to go a little bit quicker, unless there's a really good guy that I really like. Number 61 is Cam Dantzler, really good cornerback from Mississippi State. He's a little slender. He needs to add some more muscle to him, but he's going to be definitely a decent corner. Number 62 is Willie Gay Jr., and this guy I really do like. He did have off-field issues, but that wasn't like for any trouble. He just really wasn't a good student. But in the NFL, you really don't need to be really good academically because you don't have school in the NFL. Just gotta be a good football player. And even though he really didn't produce last year, he's definitely going to be a steal for a team. Number 63 and 64, another toss-up between these positions. I want Laviska Shenault at 63. Injury concerns are huge for him, and I do think his stats don't really show as much because he was the number 1 wide receiver for Colorado, and Colorado sucks, like terrible. But yeah, he's gonna be a really good player. I don't think he's going to be like Van Jefferson, Michael Pittman, Chase Claypool, and etc. But I definitely think this is a good spot for him. 64 is KJ Hamler. A little undersized. I'm not sure. I really haven't looked at tape on him, but my bad. But I'm not sure if he's a deep threat or a slot. All I know is I've heard that he's not really versatile. Really quick though, but he's really 5'8", which is pretty darn short for a receiver. But we have seen like short wide receivers do well. I think Odell's 5'11", Tyreek Hill's 5'10", Edelman's 5'11", I think as well. I like him here. 65 is another underrated defensive lineman, and that's Jordan Elliott. He's not in some schemes. He's not going to be good at all. But if you find him in a right scheme, like he played at Missouri, he could be potentially a top 3 defensive lineman in this class. I think it all depends on how good of a fit the team would be and how good of a scheme that would be. Number 26, Jake Fromm. Looking at it now, I do think he should be a little bit lower, but even though that he's not a good athlete, very consistent, really good short accuracy, really smart, and yeah. Number 67 is Ashton Davis. He can be a little bit higher on this list, but I think this is a good spot on how I have things. But really fantastic athlete, really quick. He did track, that means he's quick and all that stuff. He does have a little bit of injury concern, and that's why I think he's way down on some people's boards, but yeah, he's definitely up for contention for that 4th best safety with Jeremy Chin and Kyle Duggar. Number 68 is Clyde Edwards-Helaire, running back from LSU. Even though he had really good production last year in that LSU offense, I'm not on high as him on a little bit, but I think 68 is a good spot. Number 69 is Ncaa. However you say that last name, it's going to take some time for him. He's not going to be an immediate impact, but you're going to take some time. He did play wide receiver, but then he converted the corner. He's going to definitely get you some interceptions, but besides that, I'm not sure how good he's going to be. And 70 is a very underrated linebacker in Troy Dye from Oregon. I'm an Oregon fan. He is very underrated. At number 71, I have Devin Duvernay, wide receiver from Texas. Really big surpriser for that Texas team last year. Really quick, one of the quickest receivers in this draft. I definitely think he's going to be really good as a slot. He can play slot and deep threat, really good player. Very versatile, I'd say. Number 72 is Damon Arnett. a cornerback that some people are really high on. I'm just not. I just don't see it. Number 73 is Akeem Davis-Gaither, and he's not going to get you interceptions, but he is a great run stopper. I personally think he would be way higher, but since he went to a small school in Appalachian State, that brings it a little bit down due to a lack of talent. But he did play some good teams last year in South Carolina and North Carolina. Number 74 and 75 is a toss-up. More that I think about it, I think Tyler Biadasz is 74, but 74 is Matt Hennessy. Same thing as Gaither. I think he would be higher, but since he went to a small school in Temple, he's a little bit lower. Tyler Biadasz really wasn't as good as last year. A kind of a similar situation to Grant Delpit. Really good player, but he wasn't as good his senior year than he was his junior year. Number 76 is James Lynch, defensive lineman from Baylor. He's just fantastic run stopper. He's not as good as Derek Brown, but he has a very similar skill set to Derek Brown. Number 77 is Logan Wilson, really underrated linebacker from Wyoming. I think a great fit for him would be a team like the New York Giants. The Giants also showed interest in him. He could potentially even go in the second round, but I think he's more of a third round guy. Number 78 is Jalen Hurts. I'm not sure how he's going to play out in the NFL. He could be a QB, a running back. I think he's going to have a Taysom Hill. That's what people have been saying. Number 79 is Ezra Cleveland, a guy I'm just not high on him. All because he had a good combine is he's getting all this recognition. Even though the combine shows if you're a good athlete, film just exposes you. And I don't think he's going to be a better tackle than Lucas Niang and all the other guys we've talked about so far. And number 80 is Antonio Gandy Golden, and he is my best sleeper. I think in like 3 videos now, I've been praising this guy. Really great ball skills, really good receiver. I don't know how he made it to Liberty. I'm really high on Antonio Gandy Golden this year. And here we are. At 81, have Jack Driscoll, tackle from Auburn. Another guy that's very underrated from Auburn. I can definitely see him being a good quality starter. 82 is Jonathan. I think I did that wrong, but Jonathan Grenard, edge rusher from Florida. He's definitely been rising on people's boards, and I think he's going to go in a similar situation to his former teammate, Jagat Beloit. Man, this guy's underrated. Number 83 is James Prochet, wide receiver from SMU. I was watching film on him yesterday. Fantastic ball skills. I think he's a little bit faster than CeeDee Lamb. I think him and CeeDee Lamb are actually very similar players, but CeeDee Lamb just goes around people way better. Better hands, but I think Prochet's a little bit faster. Prochet, great route running. He's definitely going to be a steal. Number 84 is Donovan Peoples-Jones. I'm not high on this kid at all, but I personally think Joe Reed's better. Donovan Peoples-Jones, big receiver. He has the best vertical jump in this draft, if I'm not mistaken. Really good, but lack of production. If you don't do that, a lack of production, and you're the best receiver on the team, that's definitely going to bring you down on my board. Number 85 is Joe Reed. Fantastic special teams guy. Really quick, great route runner. His hands, he can drop a little bit, but really good, underrated receiver. Number 86 is Prince Tega Wanagai. I don't even know how to pronounce that name, I'll be honest. Another tackle from Auburn. I originally had him over Driscoll, but I think Driscoll is a tad better than him. 87 is Antonio Gibson, really good player from Memphis. We are just not sure if he's going to, in the NFL, if you're going to play a running back or a receiver. He can play both. Whatever receiver or running back, whatever position you play, he's going to be good. 88's Cam Akers, really underrated guy. He was productive at Florida State. He was really good at Florida State, and that was behind a terrible offensive line. And if you go into the NFL with one of the best offensive lines, this dude's going to produce for you. Then at 89, I have Darnay Holmes, cornerback from UCLA. I think coming out of the high school, he's definitely underproduced, but a really good player. And number 90 is Jonah Jackson, interior lineman from Ohio State. I really don't know that much about him, but on what people are saying, this is a good spot for him. And then finally, we have 91 through 100, and then 91 I have Julian Aguara, edge rusher from Notre Dame. I'm just not high on him as most people are, but definitely a good player. Number 92 is Sadiq Charles, offensive lineman from LSU. Besides Lloyd Cushenberry, probably the second best offensive lineman for LSU last year. And he was a tackle. He protected Burrow really darn good. Number 3 is Malik Harrison, linebacker from Ohio State. Not really good in coverage, but he's definitely a good run stopper. Number 94 is Ncaa, interior offensive lineman from Fresno State. Injury concerns are a little big on me for him. That definitely knocked him down. But really good. But injuries, like I said, big concern. And besides, I'm just gonna say 100 now. Davion Hamilton, defensive lineman from Ohio State. I don't know that much about him, but according to what most people said, he's definitely there. And 95 and 99 is just pass catchers. Number 5 is Tyler Johnson, Gabriel Davis, Thaddeus Moss, John Hightower, and Brian Edwards. Tyler Johnson, not the best athlete, but he definitely can catch the ball. If you have a terrible receiving core, he could easily be your wide receiver too. Darn it, something fell. Gabriel Davis, really good deep threat, but he only just does streaks, fades, posts, and corners. Really doesn't do anything inside. He really wouldn't be a good slot receiver. Thaddeus Moss, really good tight end. The only tight end on my board. The best tight end in my opinion. Injury concerns, again, big concern on him. Number 98 is John Hightower, from Boise State. Kind of like Joe Reed. Really fast, great returner. He can catch really well, just not really good at route running. And then Brian Edwards, really good catching traffic, very physical. I really don't know that much about Brian Edwards besides that. And I think 95 through 99, just off my preference, I just ranked it in that order. But I can definitely choose different. I can definitely see Hightower better than Moss, or Edwards better than Hightower, like that. So guys, that was my 2020 NFL Draft Big Board, and hopefully this does not get taken down. This is a little bit longer than I thought, and I'm sorry about that. But so guys, next video will probably be my mock draft or the team needs. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, share, subscribe. My bad. But like always, have a good day. Peace out.